regarding the touches, they have a quality to it, but they also are dependent on how you view the one you work with. What is your attitude to the person actually plays a role. So I mentioned a couple of examples here. We can go through them. One of them is that you basically just perceive them as a body. This is what often goes wrong for a lot of doctors, that they come from the therapeutic touch, which can be a perfect touch if it's personalized, but they come from it seeing a body with no human being inside of it. And then the other one, as I said, this is that you do see them as a person, but this one now gets impacted by what is your relationship with that person. So let's say it's a stranger, it's a client practitioner level, then it's about, okay, I'm acknowledging that this is an individual being, this is a human being, a person, but it could also be that I was doing something with my partner or a friend or a colleague or someone where I already have a different type of relationship. What is that type of relationship? How do I actually view this person? Let's say I had a colleague and that colleague knows that I'm also offering sessions, and actually I find this colleague quite annoying at work. And now the person wants a private session with me and I'm saying, yeah, sure, you can have a session, but deep down in my being, I actually don't like this colleague. This might actually be transmitted through your touch without you knowing it, because you actually don't like the person. This is an annoying person. You might not be fully able to open your heart. You might, if you worked a lot with yourself and can own that, yeah, this is how it feels. But these are these very tiny little subtle things that exist within our touch that we often don't think about. So the relationship, it could also be it's your partner, and sometimes with a partner, it's all great and good. And other times you're in a period where it's not so easy to be with that partner, or you're a bit, distant from each other at the moment. Then maybe also that will show itself through your touch, that you cannot really be there for them. It can often be easier to really be there for someone if you don't know them, when there's no history. Because and this is the person aspect of it, it's not coming in the way. And that means you can just stay with an open, pretty pure, innocent and friendly heart, because you don't have a preconceived idea about their personality. And then you still can, if you're a person with many convictions about that type of persons, because then just seeing what they look like might be enough. I'm going to refer a bit to you and Julie from last retreat. Yeah, we had a fun little example with one of our participants last time. That actually, when we did something we sometimes call a little shower, love shower coming in the door, and it was Julie that back then had dreadlocks just like Julian, and they were both standing in the door giving people a little short love shower, and one of the participants actually didn't feel like it. And that happens sometimes, and that was based on that person's judgment and convictions about such person with dreadlocks. What are they like? So that happens sometimes, that also when we meet someone we've never met before, but now they dress in a certain way and so on, and then we're like, already there we put in a judgment about them. That might also come through our touch. And this is why when you want to work with people, you need to clear your own shit. It's that simple. Because if you haven't done that, then these little elements will come through, and they are so subtle that people have a very hard time afterwards saying, what made that session not perfect? Even if they're like, yeah, everything that was done physically, correct, good, right? Something just, it wasn't perfect. And those are these little subtle things. And then I mentioned the last type of perceiving you can do of a client. And this is what we sort of call divine being. That is when the one working with you, touching you, treats your body like, this is the most magnificent thing on earth that's ever been in my room, and I'm allowed to touch it. You know, this being in awe about the wonder of this life force. You know, what that shines out through somebody's hands, do you think your body is going to feel met, accepted, seen, acknowledged? And the only thing the person did was touch you. But it's the space they touched you from. And with that, of course, comes with all our touch, do we have presence? Do we have awareness? Are we there? Or do our mind wanders off once in a while or a lot of the time? That's one of the things I want to invite you to really practice while you're here. Every time you notice yourself drifting off, get back in. Every time you notice, oh, come back in. Because that's how you want to be with a client. You want to be there completely present, not getting distracted by a lot of things, not getting distracted by that honking horn outside on the street. You know, oh, what is that? If you work with clients, especially clients that has had abandonment issues, and you leave them like that for a second, you lost the whole session. It's gone and you're not going to win it back. You just lost their trust. It takes no time. It can go so fast. Other types of personality, they can handle it, but it depends on what type of trauma they have. If they can handle that you aren't there all the time.